Hello everyone and welcome back to our daily vlog series looking at Rowan Williams' book Candles in the Dark. Today's reflection is titled At Home in the World, and I think it's obviously really appropriate considering the year we've obviously all been through, and obviously we've all been at home more, and obviously for many it's probably been such a big change, and obviously getting used to being at home more than before perhaps. So I think when we think of this, perhaps for us, our homes are where we feel safest, and it's also a sense of security and where we are comfortable. And the first bit that Rowan Williams says in this reflection is, underneath what we feel about all the things on which we sometimes get fixated, there lies a basic human longing to be at home with what truly is, with one another, with our maker, and with the raw stuff of the world. So I think from this little paragraph he said, it's obviously how we truly feel about being at home. And when he says with our maker, obviously ultimately our ultimate home where we all belong is in God's kingdom, and that's obviously going to be such a big comfort to all of us, and obviously that's the ultimate place where we all will end up reunited with our brothers and sisters. But I think it's really nice when he says with the raw stuff of the world, because it kind of links to how Natalie said in her blog yesterday about behind the mask, and how we may think someone is happy or perhaps had a good day, but actually sometimes there's perhaps other things that are going on beneath the surface that we aren't always aware about. And I think within this time of lockdown especially, we've all had perhaps bad days but also really good days, but sometimes we do kind of put on a front to perhaps come across more positive than we actually feel. So I think it's just really important to be kind continuously to one another, because you never know if someone's had a good morning or a really bad morning. So I think it's just being really considerate, and when we're at home it's that's where we obviously feel most comfortable. It's obviously not always the case, but when we are at home, sometimes perhaps, especially right now, we may feel trapped perhaps just looking at the same four walls, and sometimes we may have these really negative feelings. So I think it's just really important to stay in contact with our friends or family that we don't always see, and just being considerate that everyone is going to feel different things. If we look at Isaiah chapter 32 verse 18, it says, "My people will live in peaceful dwelling places, in secure homes, in undisturbed places of rest." So again, it kind of links to that idea of a safe haven perhaps and security. And I think when we all live and respect one another, then also when we obviously respect the earth that the Lord has created, we are protecting his kingdom. And I think it's just really good to remember that when we all live in harmony, there is this massive sense of security. And it also obviously in undisturbed places of rest, we are all restful when we are, I guess, living for God fully. Rowan Williams also says how to be human is to desire. We work, we make things, we produce both art and science because we desire more freedom, more harmony, more of a sense of being at home in the world. So again, I think that really addresses how we can sometimes be so caught up, I guess, outside of our physical homes of our work or family life or what we want to achieve, that actually sometimes we perhaps forget what makes us feel safe. And sometimes if we overwork or prioritize ourselves before others, sometimes it could come across as selfish, or perhaps we don't feel comfortable, or others perhaps feel less, less perhaps safe than us. And I think we just have to, as Christians, remember that again, we all have different experiences, and what we want to achieve is obviously part of who we are, but we also have to remember, like, what is it truly like to be followers of Christ, and how can we live our best lives. And I think that's really important to remember.